You're welcome back to our front. Today we are querying the PIAC's report that suggests that 50% of all of the projects under John Dramani Mahama as President of the Republic of Ghana, which were funded with the oil money, do not exist. Zilch, none on the ground. This is according to the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, whose responsibility really is to make sure that some of these projects are supposed to be functioning, and whether or not the projects were there or not are actually dealt with the way they ought to be dealt with. My guest is the former Deputy Finance Minister, Kingsley Atuforsen, who speaks for the minority on finance issues in the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. We need to move away from this story, but we cannot move without. Have you heard the claim that Sinopec was involved in some form of the expression they use there is transfer pricing between some of his subsidiaries, which led to State Ghana losing close to 150 or so million US dollars?
I've not heard about it.
You've not heard about it?
I've not heard about it, but transfer pricing is synonymous with multinationals, and you know what that means. Obviously, send expenditure lines that from the head office to the subsidiary.
Okay.
That's sought to reduce the profit line to the extent that they will not pay higher profit.
Yeah.
So it's something that is around multinationals, and that is why I've always cautioned.
You're not surprised about it.
I've always cautioned GRA to improve their transfer pricing unit and to subject this multinational to rigorous auditing to make sure that transfer pricing instances does not occur, so the government of Ghana can get the maximum tax revenue out of this multinationals. But
surprisingly, I thought that GRA did not have a file on Sinopec for 2 clear years, for a very long time, after the project had been completed.
Well, I have not heard it. I'm not too sure about that, and I cannot pronounce judgment at this stage. So whoever is making that claim will have to speak further to this matter. But okay. I'll get interested in this matter going forward.
Let's roll over. Now, your colleagues, how many of you are issued with letters asking to cooperate with the CID over this matter of whether or not you do have money that belongs to the state in your coffers?
25
of you?
Members of Parliament who happens to be ministers and deputy ministers.
But that was a mistake, right?
We have subsequently received phone calls from...
Not letters?
Phone calls.
Okay.
Initially, they sent letters to 25 members of Parliament. I've been told that it was submitted to members through the pigeonhole.
Okay.
Parliament. So I even went to Parliament to check whether there's something like that for me. I've not seen anything like that anyway. But what happened was they sent 25 letters to Parliament that were distributed to our pigeonholes, inviting 25 of our colleagues and giving them a schedule that they will have to follow in appearing for questioning. Obviously being alleged that they've taken double salaries in the previous regime. Subsequently, 18 out of the 25 members of Parliament have received phone calls from the CID apologizing to them that it was a mistake, and so therefore they don't need to appear. They've gone further to say that about 7 more are supposed to appear, and they will do even that. They should wait. They are going to do further work and get them to appear on another date. Okay. So it doesn't mean that the 7 still stands accused. They are still doing some further work before they come back to us. I'm aware of some of the names, but I can't sit in here and then pronounce them, because obviously
the names are out there. They are in the public domain.
Oh, okay. So you can, if you can give me some, I'm not aware of them. So, but let me tell you something. Yeah. You can see clearly that something is very wrong.
How?
Because I'm of the opinion that the Criminal Investigation Department of Ghana Police Service, as the name suggests, Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service, would have done some investigation before concluding as to who they will have to invite.
Preliminary?
Yes, initially. Temporal. I mean,
how you convinced they have not done that?
So are you telling me if they have done that, they would have written letters to members of Parliament and former appointees only for them to call back and apologize?
Mistakes happen.
It's not a mistake. I mean, so the mistake level is about 70-something%.
Yes.
What's interesting? 70-something%. 18 out of 25. Amazing. Amazing. Then what sort of work was done?
But the crux of the matter is
it shows clearly that somebody gave them some list. They failed to do their work, and then they decided to write the letters to them.
Explain to me, you are the finance ministry, how is it possible that state officials who are MPs and also ministers get to be paid twice?
I tell you that members of parliament, ministers of state, deputy ministers of state are part of the Article 71 definition.
Yeah.
The constitutional definition of Article 71.
Yeah.
They are part of it. Their salaries and emolument are determined by the Presidential Emolument Committee. Until that determination is made, any payment to these officers, ministers of state, deputy ministers of state, and members of parliament are not salaries. They are payment in lieu of the determination of their entitlement.
Even if it's triple, quadruple?
No. Yes. They are payment in lieu. You see, you can only say that somebody has gotten double salary
if you know the actual salary.
If you know the actual salary. So you recall that every administration, they appoint the emolument committee, the committee members are normally appointed deep into the end of the administration.
Yes, maybe in the last few months.
Yes, even now we are speaking, this president is almost 40% of his tenure, or about, yes, almost 40% of his tenure. Yet they've not appointed the committee that will sit and look at the emolument of all Article 71. So even now, as a member of parliament under His Excellency President Anado, I do not know my salary. Whatever I'm receiving are payment in lieu of the determination.
So you're saying that it's not as if you're saying they did not receive any money at all. They could have received quadruple their actual salary.
No, let me make a point. I'm not done.
Okay.
In the case of the previous administration, the previous government decided to make this payment. So payments were made. Obviously, if you are a minister of state and a deputy minister of state, or a deputy minister of state, and at the same time a member of parliament, your salary or your salary that will be determined will certainly be higher than that of a normal member of parliament.
But we see examples, they are not way too high. They are not
no. They are not way too high.
Yeah.
It's you get something we call them top-ups.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Parliament of Ghana will pay you or will give you some advance payment based on the determination that was made the previous administration, the cut-off point. They'll make you that what do you call it, advances to you.
Yeah.
The office of president, okay, in this case being represented by CAGD, Control Accountant General's Department, will also give you some top-up.
Really?
Yes.
Is it top-up or they are paying you first?
No, top-up.
Does a top-up constitute almost half or more than half?
No, I'm coming. Yes, let me.
Because my time is like 2 minutes.
So when we put the two together, okay, you cannot say it's double salary until the final determination. So what I'm trying to put across is that there is no case of double salary, and I can assure you, the CID is trying to fish it, and they will get nothing out of this. Nothing will come out of this because nobody under the previous administration received double salary. Nobody.
Are you saying this because you're a deputy finance minister?
I'm saying this because I worked with the system. I sat at the Ministry of Finance and worked with the system for 4 years, and I know what I'm talking about. And this is backed by the Constitution, Article 70.
But I don't know what the CID has today, as in evidence.
The same CID wrote inviting certain people.
Oh, but we have
what? If they have evidence, they wouldn't have invited people. They have nothing. I'm telling you, they have nothing. There's nothing there. Look, I can tell you, my brother, Raymond, for you to run up, I will tell the CID, even if they decide to do patrolling, they won't fish anything.
Many thanks to you, and folks, that's where we tie the nice ribbons of today's edition of Upfront. My name is Raymond Aqua. So it's a two-pronged discussion. First, we start with the rather controversial 50% non-existent project, ghost projects that PIAC, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, the people who are put together to watch our money for us, our money, are saying under the John Dramani Mahama-led administration, none of those projects, 50%, were existing. That's the kind of change that we're talking about in this case. And we moved on to have a conversation on the CID's renewed quest to make sure that those who took double salary cough up the money. You heard the minority spokesperson of finance saying that nothing of that sort has happened. Well, you can make up your mind on that. And that's where we leave off upfront for today. Tomorrow's another wonderful day for another conversation that's supposed to get you better informed.